Hi guys, welcome to Studio B, and today I'm going to be talking about the most amazing thing and the most terrible thing that were mixed together in one. And it was camp! I am talking about science camp today, folks. I'm talking about Pathfinder camp. It was miserable and amazing at the same time. You might not understand that yet, but soon you will. Point number 1, canoeing. Everybody thinks that canoeing is super relaxing and enjoying nature, and I thought it would be like that too. Or please, I was ready to do my canoeing. I was super excited because I had an amazing partner, or so I thought. A big, strong boy with muscles who was going to do all the rowing for me so I could just sit back, relax, and enjoy nature and the calming peace of water. Well, it turns out that you actually need 2 people to row for a canoe, so I did have to do the work. I was just lightly rowing my canoe, and the water flung itself at my partner's face. And he didn't like that. I mean, do you like getting water flung at your face by nature? And he started yelling, but at me. And it wasn't even my fault. Was it my fault that when I pulled the paddle back, the water flung itself at my partner? No. So then why was it right that I was being yelled at? I felt kind of mad about this, so I started going a little bit faster. And unfortunately, he wasn't prepared for that, so we kind of started zigzagging in all different directions, and we got stuck in the reeds. And that took forever to get out of. It turns out that this is a very stressful experience, and it was about to get worse. We were paddling, and then we crossed a sign that said, "No swimming. Crocodiles present." The naturalist had already told us that this is a joke sign, like putting no diving over a toilet. But I was not convinced because news travels fast around 6th grade. And I had previously heard that a girl from our camp had pulled a huge crocodile out of the water with her paddle, and it had come and started biting her, and she had to wrestle it back down into the water. But I'm pretty sure this wasn't a rumor, because that water looked pretty crocodile-y to me. My partner had been yelling at me this entire time, and it was getting really annoying, and I just really wanted to be quiet so I could enjoy this nature. So I said, "Hey, partner guy, I think there's a crocodile in the water." And then I used my paddle, and I tapped the bottom of the boat, and then I brought some moss towards us. It didn't exactly what you would call quiet him down. He kind of started hysterically screaming at me and going super fast. And that got me really scared, so I started going super fast too. Apparently all the other canoer people thought that this was going to be a race, right? So they all started going super fast too. And we were about to smash right into the concrete. And there wasn't enough room for us to turn. And we were going super fast, and they were trying to go super slow. And then we bonked into the concrete, and we started going up, and we thought we were going to die. It turned out that canoeing is a very stressful experience. Well, with which partner you get. Next time, partner guy, I would appreciate it if you just did all the rowing for me and let me sit back and relax. None of this would have happened, and it would have been a lot more relaxing for me and you. Archery. Now, I was pretty sure that I was going to be just like Merida in the movie Brave, flowing into the winds with all of my arrows being perfectly shot and showing up all the boys with my hair beautifully swaying in the wind while I go and bust their butts with my awesome arrow shooting. For everybody else doing it, they were all doing it really good. So I was like, psh, I'm going to be amazing at this. I'm going to be splitting some arrows today, right? Because they were all getting it right on target. And I was like, wow, this must be super easy for me if it's easy for them. So I go up, and I am going to be perfect at this arrow shooting. And we're supposed to just aim at the right target, but I wanted to aim at the top one, right by the top of the hay bale. So I wanted to do it and split the arrow that was already in the middle. And it was going to be awesome, because I'm amazing. So I pulled it back. It didn't exactly go as planned. It kind of went over the hay bales, over the target, over into the mountains, where I had to return it with nobody accompanying me. So I go up this mountain, right, and I'm hiking. It's been like 5 minutes. I'm trying to get my arrow, right? And I turn around the bush, and there's my arrow. And right next to it is a dead bunny. Well, I'm pretty sure it was dead. I hope that it was just like having like an anxiety attack because it was right next to the arrow. I hope that was just what it was doing and I didn't go kill a bunny. Well, I kind of removed the arrow and ran down that mountain. On our first round of shooting, I shot a bunny, but the next one I was going to be super determined and I was going to hit the target. Our target this time was where we had a piece of paper and we wrote our goals down on it and then we put it on the target and we had to shoot for our goals. Get it, get it, get it? Knee slap. And then I was super determined I was going to get it. Ka-punk. Just so you know, lots of people were not serious about their goals. I was. I said, I want to be the best me I can possibly be. But a lot of the boys put something like, I want to play Fortnite more. And mine didn't hit it the first time. It hit somebody else's goal. And I was like, well, it's fine if I got Fortnite. It's fine. It's not the worst thing I could have. But it was our class clown's one. And his goal was that he wanted to go to prison. He wanted to go to jail. And that was possibly the worst one I could have ever had. I don't want to go to jail, but guess what's in my future? Jail. I'm a good person. I was so mad that I had not gotten my goal that I went up while everybody was shooting with my last arrow. There's more than one way to hit your goal. Bang, 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 and I started stabbing my goal with my arrow. Pew, pew, pew. I hit my goal, and I am going to be the best me I can be because I can. Ha! The next thing we did was horseback, and actually this was the best one we did. I had the least amount of problems with this. This was amazing. I loved riding my horse. I got to ride the horse called Dollar. Want to hear the backstory? She got sold for $1 because she had a blind eye, but now she's amazing. And I got Dollar, and I was super excited to ride her, and she was perfect. She didn't ever have to have me steer her. She just stayed right on the trail, and I loved her, and I was petting her the entire time. The horse in front of me, though, forgot the rule that you're supposed to go to the bathroom before you travel and went poop like 7 times in front of me and my horse. I am scarred for life now. It kept on pooping in front of me and my horse's poor eyes. Something that can't be fixed with soap. Dollar and I continued our wonderful experience, and I just kept on petting her the entire time. I think she loved me as much as I loved her. In fact, I know she did, because at the end of the trip, we were having such a good old time that she decided, why don't we lengthen this adventure a little bit longer? So we galloped away from the stalls. Come on, this way, Naturalist! So she went on a long walk through the chicken coop. Horses and chickens are not meant to be put together. No. Horses have these big things at the end of their feet called hooves, and they're very good chicken smashers. So when we went, I tried to look forward and straight to avoid any smashed chicken scene because I was already scarred because of that horse pooping. I did not want to see dead smashed chickens. So we went through and I was like, Naturalist, and the naturalists were trying to pull the horse away. We got out of the chicken coop. I thought we would be fine until we went into the screaming goat pen. I don't know if they're called screaming goats, but that's all they did. And it's not like, ah, they don't scream like that. They don't scream like, oh, they don't scream like, ah. They scream like, ah! They scream like they're getting murdered. And they were all creepy with these teeth, and they were like goats. Ah! My ears are still ringing from that experience. The next activity was the Alpine Tower. This was the worst activity and the best activity. The Alpine Tower is this huge building, and it's like an obstacle course. There were 2 sides to it. The easy side, as some people said, and the hard side. There was a big debate going around camp about it. Anyways, I was chosen to go on the hard side. I was watching other people go up the Alpine Tower, and they were shaking and crying, and I thought, psh, weaklings. They can't even make it up the tower. And I was for sure, I knew that I was going to go up there and I was going to get it. So I got on my gear and I started going up. And just the first foot, it started shaking. The rock underneath me was like shaking. It wasn't stable and I had to pull myself up with my weak arms. And it hurt and I was taking a long time getting up there and I was sweating and it hurt. And I had to continue this for a long time and I was hugging it. It took forever. I had never had this much arm pain in my life. I was getting up here and I was so nervous. I was crying and trying to breathe. And I was like, I gotta go down now. I can't do this any longer. And I looked down and my mother is glaring at me with her dagger eyes and I can tell what she is saying. I could read her eyes. They said, you better climb every inch of that tower or you are not getting fed. I looked up, it looked hard. I looked down, it looked harder. So I went up and still started climbing. The only thing that motivated me to go even higher was my mom down there and her eyes that said, you better get your butt to the top of that tower or else. Now, if you ask her, she will probably say, oh no, I was giving you that look that says, make sure to be the best you can be and try your hardest because you are so full of potential. Yay! But no, she was saying you better climb every inch of that tower and your butt better be at the top of that tower by the time I say knife. So I kept on going. I was shaking, crying. I finally made it up to the top. It hurt, and I wasn't sure I could go much longer, but I got to the top, and it was awesome. I felt so good, that sense of accomplishment. It felt so good. And on the way down, I flossed, and I did the Fortnite dances, because that's what everybody was doing on their way down. And my mom, at the end, she said, her eyes said, you have done me well. Like, that was acceptable. She would probably say that her eyes said, wow, great job. I am so proud of you, and you are so accomplished and such a potentially person. But hers said, was that really the best you could do? That's fun. Soon after that, my mom actually got a chance to climb the hard side. And you know what I looked up to her when I did it? You better climb every inch of that tower or I will be glaring at you and doing hunger strikes for the rest of my life. Did she make it up? Yes. Did she do it faster than me? Kinda. But did she agree it was hard? Yes. Now for meals. I was quite excited about meals because I love food and because it was a buffet. Well, they said it was a buffet in the presentation. Guess what? It was family style. And I was at the end of the table. I was like, I'm the head of the table, baby. But that meant that I got my food last. All the food looked delicious. It was great food. And it got passed all the way down to me. There was one pea with cheese and bacon bits on it left. One pea. And then like the corn came, there was like one little piece of corn. So I lectured all the boys, yeah, you know who you are, about eating all my food. And this time I was going to get the food. So I hopped up and I got the meal so that I could serve it first to myself. And guess what I got? Mashed potatoes. Now, some of you might think that that's fine. Yum, you got mashed potatoes. No, I don't like mashed potatoes. I don't eat mush, people. I do not take food and mush it and then eat it. Who eats mush food? I'm not a baby. That's literally what they feed babies. Like mushed peas and mushed corn and mushed potatoes. And if you are ever going to go to camp or a family-style restaurant, my tip to you, don't eat after the boys. Predator and Prey. This game sounds like it stinks when you first hear it, but it was one of the highlights of my trip. So, Predator and Prey is kind of like a game of tag, but with different rules. It sounds boring, but it's not. So it goes with the food chain. On the top is the hawks. They eat everything. And then there's the snakes, and then there's a bunch of other birds, and at the bottoms there's insects. You're all divided into teams with your own naturalists. And I was in the hawks team. And I'm telling you, it couldn't be better. Life as a hawk was the best. You weren't in fear of any of the other animals. When you came walking down the street, everybody else got out of your way and ran away screaming. And we can charge, attack everybody, and go tag people. And nobody could beat us, and none of us could die because nothing was above us. We were the Hawks. But they didn't tell us this. But there were these things called death and decay cards. And if one of the little bugs had them, it could be passed up all the way to here. And if a hawk touched somebody who had the death and decay card, the hawk had to die. Die! No! I thought our hawks were invincible. That's not fair. Now, when any of the other animals got tagged by one of us, they joined our team. And there was this one boy that I was determined I was going to chase. And I started chasing him, and chased him, and chased him, and chased him, right? And we were running, and he fell into a bunch of pricklies and rocks, face first. And I was like, should I tag him and win, or should I help him up? Devil or angel on the shoulder? I tagged him. He was like, no, that's not fair. I was hurt, right? So I was like, fine. And he gets up, and he's fine. I was like, I can still tag him. I want to win. So I tag him again. Well, I almost tag him, but he has a bee on him. Get stung by a bee and win, or not get stung by a bee and lose. I want to win, so I tag him. And the bee starts chasing me forever. Finally, I get back to the guy, and he has the death and decay card. And I died. This is as long as I can talk about camp, people. I want to hear about any camp experience that you guys have had, whether it was camping in a tent or glamping, as the teachers called it, because we have like air-conditioned and heated cabins. Though, really, it wasn't as glam as they made it out to be. Make sure to tell me all about your camp experiences. And if you've never had a camp experience, what your perfect camp experience would be like. Make sure to like this video, comment below your camp experience, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. See us next time on Studio B.